Darn fast food.
Hi, I'm Holly, and welcome to another Weirdness Really Bad movie show.
And I'm Dave, and we're back once again in the Weirdness TV control room.
Or if you've ever tuned into our show before, you might call it the out of control room.
And this show will share with you some wonderful public domain TV shows.
We'll even throw in some of the comedy sketches that we make for our other show, the Weirdness Really Bad Movie.
And today, we complete our Space Angel cartoon, The Ghost and Crystal Mace.
So, what's with the getup, Dave?
What getup?
The hat, the coat, the notepad.
Oh, this getup?
Yeah.
Well, I just figured in honor of our, TV program today, Front Page Detective, that I become a member of the real estate.
I'm sorry, the what?
I became a member of the real estate, the power of the press.
Oh, Dave, I think you mean you became a member of the Fourth Estate. The Fourth Estate is the public press.
What's the real estate?
Well, that would be a piece of property.
Well, the coat and my hat, they're my property.
Yeah, we better take a break and then kick off this week's show.
I still think I'm a member of the real estate.
Well, if you are, then that would make you an overstuffed tool shed.
Yeah, it could be. I've been called a real tool before.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. We'll be right back.
Ads, junk. What the heck is this? This wasn't even supposed to be delivered here.
Oh, sorry. I'll take care of that. Shut the door. Said shut the door.
Sorry.
No problem.
Now, as a public service for the employment challenged, Weirdness presents another job search tip.
Writing no permanent address on your application might be counterproductive.
May your job search be fruitful. Whatever the heck that means. Good luck.
It's time once again for another episode of Space Angel. Synchrovox animation, which was used in Space Angel, is a filming method which combines static images with moving images, the most common use of which is to superimpose talking lips on a photograph or cartoon drawing. It is used to cut animation and production time and costs. The method was developed by cameraman Edwin Ted Gillette in the 1950s in order to simulate talking animals in television commercials. Anyway, it's time for episode number 240, part 5, the conclusion of The Ghost and Crystal Mace. And I'll see you at the next Space Angel cartoon. 8, 7, 6, 5.
4, 3, 2, 1. Last time, while Crystal tried to stop the little ghost Humphrey from fooling around with the controls of the Starduster, the other ghosts accused Scott and Taurus of kidnapping Humphrey, while the chief contemplated sending the Space Force after Scott and his friends.
Now I'm pretending I'm an image. You come here. Okay, miss. Whatever you say. Now you sit right down there and watch that needle. Yes'm. You mean this one? Right. When it swings to one side or the other, call out. Roger. Okay. Here we go. Yippee! The needle's moving. Okay, that's good. Now it's all the way down. You're a good co-pilot, Humphrey. Hang on, we're about to land. Yes'm.
In a few minutes, we'll have Humphrey back for you.
I hope you're right, Skipper.
So do I.
You better be right.
What a landing.
Beautiful. And just in the nick of time. Welcome, Lassie. Beautiful landing.
Chris, what happened?
Did you see, a ghost named Humphrey?
Back our boy, Humphrey.
I sure did. He helped me fly the Starduster. Hi there, Grandma. I've been flying a spaceship.
You wait till I get you home.
Now, gentlemen, we're going to have to do something about your broadcast frequencies. They're jamming space communications with those weird sounds which can be heard everywhere.
But, sir, that's our intention. Ever since we learned that you people don't believe in ghosts, we had to try and prove that we really exist. Well, I guess you've made your point.
And I'll be glad to tell everyone about Humphrey. Hooray! I'll be famous!
Yes, gentlemen. If we promise to spread the word, will you agree to stop that giant shortwave transmitter of yours?
All right, it's a deal. But we'll keep checking, and if people stop believing in us, we'll have to start broadcasting again.
That's a deal. Now, my friends and I better get back and spread the good word about you.
I certainly feel safer with you in that seat instead of that wild Humphrey.
I think you did fine, lass. Just fine.
What are we going to tell the chief?
You mean like there are ghosts on this planet and one of them named Humphrey nearly got away with swiping the Starduster?
He'll never believe a word of it.
He better, or they'll start broadcasting again.
I want to be there when you tell him, Scott. I want to see his face.
Scott, this is the chief. Where have you been? What's going on out there? And I don't want any crazy stories. Tune in again next time for another exciting adventure with Scott McCloud, Space Angel.
Welcome back to another episode of Weirdness Ask, where we dare to ask the question that no one else is, that perhaps no one should ask. Maybe you'll remember our program on Humpty Dumpty. Just why was he on that wall? The true story. Or perhaps you'll remember Jimmy Crack Corn. Just why shouldn't we care? Today our question is, gasoline prices. What the heck is going on? We're here at Gasoline Place, where gasoline prices have changed 5 times in the last 24 hours. And today, to help explain the situation, we brought along our expert in many things, Dr. Yvonne. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Yvonne.
Always a pleasure, Dave.
Now, Dr. Yvonne, we're here where the gas prices have changed 5 times in the last 24 hours. But the gasoline was brought in 3 days ago and it's already paid for. Now, how do you explain the fluctuation in gasoline prices?
Well, Dave, it's actually quite a complicated formula. First, I take the price of a barrel of crude oil. Then I factor in that you get 42 gallons of crude per barrel. You got to figure, Dave, that there's at least 27 gallons of gasoline after it's been refined. You got to add 14 gallons of chemical enhancement. There's a 4% transportation fee, a 12% profit. You got to put in the 50-cent tax. 6 cents of a gallon goes to the dealers.
Really? So that's how they figure out how to charge for a gasoline?
Heck no, that's just a little mathematical game I play in between the time that they change the prices. Actually, the gas stations charge whatever they want to.
Makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Dr. Yvonne. And join us next time, Weirdness Asks, that question that shouldn't be asked.
Hey, we're back, and it's time for our TV segment.
And our feature program today is the mystery crime drama, Front Page Detective.
The title Front Page Detective was taken because of the popular mystery magazine of the same name, and it was about an investigative newspaper columnist back in the day when they had investigative newspaper columnists.
Which is also back in the day when they had newspapers. Anyway, the series starred Edmund Lowe and ran from July 6th, 1951, September 19th, 1952. Now, 1953, the show was released into syndication for several years.
And Front Page Detective was aired over the pioneering Dumont television network. So, how's the investigative reporting going there, Dave?
Real good so far. I've written 3 articles.
Really? Mm-hmm. So what's the last investigative article you wrote?
Last one, it's about why popcorn pops.
Okay, I'll bite. Why does popcorn pop?
Apparently, it's because it gets hot.
You know, they just don't write investigative reports like they used to. Well, for a real investigative report, let's go to Front Page Detective.
Roll the film, Eugene.
Presenting an unusual story of love and mystery on Front Page Detective. Starring Mr. Edmund Lowe as the famed newspaper columnist and amateur detective David Chase. And now for another thrilling adventure as we accompany David Chase and watch him match wits with those who would take the law into their own hands.
In these days of crime probes and Senate investigating committees, a newspaper man never knows where his next front page story will come from. Here in New York or out of town. Take Big Dutch Oliver over there, the big fellow. He used to be boss of the rackets. But for all his millions, he's in a terrific spot. He's on his way to Washington with a Senate subpoena in his pocket. And if he refuses to tell all, he'll be in contempt of Congress. But if he does decide to talk, a former gangland pal may try to stop him the hard way. That's why Big Dutch has his personal torpedo with him, Danny Trumpet, the lad over there with the bow tie.
Look, Dutch, you sure it's okay to leave you alone while I go back after the big bag?
What's the matter, Danny? You think I'm not old enough to take care of myself? Sure, run along, but hurry back. We pull out in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Speaking of explosives, notice the gentleman with the gorgeous blonde. That's Mr. Dynamite in person, otherwise known as Rocco Valenti, the former gangland pal voted most likely to get hurt if Big Dutch Oliver testifies. Just as I hinted in my column, Valenti is riding this same train to Washington, which may spell fireworks before the trip is over.
David Chase, paging Mr. David Chase. David Chase, please report to Station Master's office. An urgent telephone call.
Hello, this is David Chase. What's so urgent? Who's calling?
Never mind who I am, Chase. Just listen to me and listen good. It's a matter of life or death. Your life or your death.
What?
That bally in your column today, Chase, about them Washington big shots digging into the racket tycoons. It ain't healthy to hit what you hated.
Hey, wait a minute now.
And it won't be healthy if you ride on that train tonight. Don't get with it, Chase. The setup's gonna be gaffed. You can't win for losing.
Could I have a translation of that?
It means stay off that train or you may have a star-back seat to your own funeral.
Hey, wait a minute. Hold on.
Midnight Express leaving in 5 minutes for Trenton, Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Washington.
It's a cinch the guy who phoned me didn't know his newspaper man. Where the news goes, we go. And from the look of things, this trip south had all the makings of a headline homicide. I can't help thinking about Rocco Valenti and that blonde Venus. Somehow I have a feeling I'll be seeing him again before very long. Well, how do you do?
I know you must be busy, Mr. Chase, but...
Whatever gave you that idea? I'm never too busy for visitors like you. Won't you sit down, Miss...
Thank you. Gerard. Vicky Gerard.
Oh, that's a lovely name for a lovely girl.
I'll bet you always say that.
Well, not always. Once I met a redhead by the name of Safarina Finabessi.
Oh, Mr. Chase.
That's a fact. That was only her married name. Her maiden name was Pokinghorn. Oh, will you have a cigarette?
Well, I really shouldn't, but...
Oh, it's fine. You're very lovely. You're lovely.
I guess all newspaper people smoke too much. Don't you think so, Mr. Chase?
Are you a newspaper woman, Vicky?
Yes. I'm on the Long Island Star-Clarion. Of course, it's just a little twice-a-week paper.
I see.
That's what I wanted to talk to you about, Mr. Chase. I thought maybe... Really, I just don't know how to start.
You're doing fine.
Well, what I mean is, you're so experienced and everything.
Oh, Vicky.
Well, you know all about deadlines and bulldog editions and linotype editors. I thought maybe you could give me a few pointers on what a girl needs to be a success.
Pointers? Oh, yes, of course, pointers. You can't get to first base without them, honey.
I knew you'd understand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for instance, the Star Bulletin sending little inexperienced me down to Washington.
Star Bulletin? But you said your paper was the Star-Clarion.
Oh, I meant the Star-Clarion.
Oh,
Well, how can they expect a cub reporter like me to understand all about that Senate investigation? Unless, of course, I could find someone like you to teach me how to do it.
Honey, I'd like to teach you everything I know. Where shall we begin, huh?
Well, take your column in today's paper.
Must we?
I mean, what you said about some underworld tycoon having to testify and one of his pals wanting to stop him the hard way. Who did you mean?
You really want to know?
Mm-hmm.
What's it worth if I tell you?
Maybe this.
What's it worth to Rocco Valenti?
I beg your pardon.
Oh, come now, kitten. We both know that Valenti sent you to pump me. Well, you're not a cub reporter. You're in the front line of the Copa Club.
Of all the cheap, low-down chiselers, stringing me along and letting me make a fool of myself.
Now, Vicky, you mustn't lose your temper. You're too gorgeous to get ulcers.
You contemptible creep.
I still think you're pretty. Eight or 10 paragraphs later, I started thinking of the old saying, never send a boy on a man's errand. That applied to girls, too. Even girls like Vicky Gerard. She hadn't got the information Valenti wanted. So next time I figured Valenti would come himself. And sure enough. Valenti. Sorry I didn't hear you knock. Did you bring Vicky back with you?
I'm alone, mister. It's just you and me.
Oh, it's too bad. She's a nice kid. Well, what can I do for you?
Maybe I can do something for you.
No, thanks. I've lost some of my closest friends that way, if I understand what you mean.
You understand, all right. Or else you're a better actor than you are a newspaperman.
You're one of my first critics that ever admitted it. Oh, what was it you wanted that made you bring that little persuader with you?
Persuader? You got me wrong, Chase. I don't go for violence.
Surprise!
It's so violent. No, I was just curious about what you said in tonight's column. You know, about this former pal of mine who's going to try and stop me from testifying down in Washington.
Stop you from... Pardon me, I dropped a little ash off my cigarette. What were you saying?
I want to know, is that item you wrote straight from the feed box?
So the feed box claimed?
Then this former pal of mine who's going to make with the fireworks. Who is the guy? Is he on this train?
Oh, come now. You wouldn't want me to violate a confidence, would you?
What's the name of the guy, and where did you get the dope?
If I revealed the source, I'd be tossed right out of the union. Oh, I've got a light, thanks.
Not like this, you ain't. This kind is hot enough to burn you down if you won't talk.
If it burned me down, I couldn't talk. Oh, put that away, Valenti. You're in way over your head.
Look, if a guy on this train is gunning for me, I got a right to know. It ain't my fault Washington sent me a summons.
Go on. The last summons you got was in 1947 when you were witnessing that Goldstein killing.
You know they're checking up on all the big operators, Chase. Yeah. Does this look like an invitation to a barbecue?
It might be at that.
You still think someone's going to put me on the spot, huh? Only you won't tell me who.
Not who. Whom.
Okay. So you're educated. So clam up. Maybe someday you'll need a favor. Try and get it. One other thing, sweetheart. Lay off calling me a tycoon. Some of my boys gave me a funny look when they read it.
Well, this was the switch of the year. The wise money said Big Dutch Oliver's testimony would hurt Rocco Valenti. The wise money said Valenti would try to stop Oliver from giving that testimony. How wrong could the wise money be? What we all overlooked was that Valenti could be subpoenaed too, and somebody might want to stop him from talking. The smell of violence was in the air. So I followed my nose to Dutch Oliver's drawing room in the next Pullman. Who is it? It's David Chase. Open up, Trumpet. I want to talk to Big Dutch a minute.
You got the wrong place. Nobody here by that name.
Don't be coy, Danny. I saw you and Dutch get aboard an hour ago. What's the matter? You nervous? You got some enemies?
Let him in, Danny. Chase is okay.
Hiya, Dutch.
Hiya, Chase. Have a seat. What's on your mind?
Don't scare me like that, will you?
Lay off, Danny. That's no way to treat the press.
I know, boss. But you can't afford to take chances.
Chase knocks off his enemies with his typewriter, eh, Chase?
Well, it's good to start this off with a laugh.
Come on, sit down.
Thanks.
Besides, Chase is a friend.
Yeah, a friend who's worried about your health, Dutch.
My health? Never felt better in my life.
In the midst of life, we are in death, end quote.
Riddles he makes with. You sound like an advance agent for Gloomy Sunday. How come?
One of your pals is aboard, one of your former pals.
Valenti?
Uh-huh. He paid me a little visit a few minutes ago.
Boss, I told you not to...
Quiet, Danny.
Valenti's worried, Dutch.
And why not? He'll be singing solo tomorrow. No mouthpiece to help him over the rough spots.
Oh, you know about his subpoena, huh?
Oh, sure. He even phoned me. Thought we might take a trip south. I told him no dice. I got nothing to hide. I'm clean. Been clean for 3 years. Danny's seen to that. Haven't you, Danny?
That I have, boss.
And if Valenti isn't clean, that's his funeral.
Well, maybe he thinks yours might help the situation.
If anything happens to me, the joke's on him. I'll have the last laugh.
Oh, now who makes with the riddles?
Look, Chase, I'm going to let you in on something. Hey, Danny, better take a gander through the train. If you spot that friend of ours, keep an eye on him. But don't start anything.
Look, I got a feeling I shouldn't. When the heat's on like now, you shouldn't trust even your friends.
Danny, you're too jittery. Chase won't hurt anybody. If it'll make you feel any better, take another look around the room. Come on, check the closet. And don't forget to look under the mattress.
The mattress is out in the corridor.
Well, go on, blow. Find Valenti and keep an eye on him.
Don't forget to lock it.
Hope you're enjoying yourself. You have 5 minutes to visit our refreshment stand.
Sneaking out to the drive-in? Why not take the kiddies along and save the expense of a sitter? Everyone enjoys the drive-in.
Get the drift? We feature ice-cold drinks at our concession.
This is my insurance policy. I'm going to let you hear part of it. Because of these and other threats during the past few days, I've taken the precaution of making this recorded transcript of the information I intend to present. If anything or anybody should stop me from testifying in person before this committee, then this detailed record in my own voice will... Like I said, Chase, I'll have the last laugh.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Not wishing you any bad luck, Dutch. But, oh, boy, what a story that would make.
Well, not wishing you any bad luck. I hope you never get a chance to write it.
Well, I'll go along with you. But I can dream, can't I?
Why waste your time? Truth is, I'm safer here than lots of places I can think of. And Danny Trumpet's plenty quick on the trigger if anybody wants to make trouble.
Yeah, so I gather. Tell me, Dutch, off the record, are you really packing enough dynamite to blow the lid off tomorrow?
Put it this way. I'm going to protect myself in the clinches. If anybody else's testimony puts me on a spot, I'm going to get off. Believe me.
Mm-hmm. No matter who you involve, huh?
That's right, Chase. No matter who I involve. I haven't got as much to lose as Valenti. And I think he's smart enough to keep that in mind.
Even the smart ones can make mistakes. Well, I'll mosey along. I've got words to put on paper.
Make sure they're the right words, Chase. Don't lead with your chin.
My chin doesn't worry me. It's my nose. It gets very sensitive when it smells a story like this. And as Danny would say, be sure it's locked. Vicky, what? I want to take... Dutch, what is it? Dutch, are you all right? Dutch! Hey, Dutch! Maybe this was what that character meant when he phoned me at the station master's office. When he warned me to stay off this train. Maybe I was taking a ride to my own funeral.
Hey, boss, I couldn't... Oh. Hey, Dutch. Dutch!
He'll never be deader. Someone plugged him in the back.
Somebody. Meaning you. Dirty, low-down heel. So you waited till I was gone, huh? You knew Big Dutch trusted you enough to turn his back. Then you chopped him down.
Don't be a fool, Danny.
How much blood money did Valenti pay you to kill him?
I tell you I didn't kill him. You know that.
What did Big Dutch know you didn't want to be told down in Washington? Come on, talk!
I'll talk when you stop acting like a maniac.
You'll talk now or I'll blow your lights out. Like you blew out his...
I didn't kill Oliver, I tell you.
You're lying, Chase. You're lying in your teeth. No. Oh, no. No, you didn't kill him. But he's dead. And you was in here alone with him.
Not when it happened.
No? Then who was?
That's the crazy part of it. No one.
No one? You trying to tell me he shot himself? In the back? Why, you...
I didn't say that. I said there was nobody with him. It happened when I left him. I was walking down the corridor. Before Dutch had a chance to lock the door, I heard a shot. I ran back here and found him dead. Dead and alone.
Who you fronting for, Chase? Yourself or Valenti?
I could ask you that same question, Danny.
Meaning what?
You were told to keep an eye on Valenti. Why did you come back here instead?
I couldn't find him.
Too bad you didn't. Big Dutch might still be alive.
How could Valenti have done it if it happened like you said? Yeah, he's a fast man with a gun, but he ain't that fast. He couldn't just up and disappear. Nobody can.
Well, somebody did. And if somebody could do a disappearing act, that same somebody might reappear just as easily.
Who are you trying to kid? No, Chase, I won't buy that. Not unless you can show me how Valenti worked it.
Why don't you ask him? He's right behind you.
No, you don't think I'm dopey enough to fall for that old routine? Why, I ought to bash you.
Hold it, Danny. Drop the heat, sonny boy. I got you faded. No, Chase. You wouldn't want to commit suicide, would you? Not so soon after I stopped your pal here from dealing you a fractured skull.
Can I help it if I'm impulsive?
Looks like you're having too many impulses tonight. All of them bad for your health. You can turn around now, Danny. Now, what was that question Chase was telling you to ask me? Something about how did I work it? Work what? Hey, where's Big Dutch?
Like you didn't know, huh?
What Danny means is, how did you manage to disappear after you pulled the killing?
Killing? What killing?
Big Dutch Oliver. Chase says you're the guy knocked him off.
Knocked him off?
Yeah.
That's right. Knocked him off. Now listen, let's not overdo the surprise act.
Is this guy out of his head or something? What's the joke? So I can laugh too.
If it was a joke, it wasn't very funny to Big Dutch Oliver. Does that look like he died laughing?
Hey, you weren't kidding. He really is dead.
Now, Danny!
Looks like you're the one that's faded now, big shot. Okay, you can let him go, Chase. And get your hands up.
You heard what the man said? Get your hands up. That's what the man said.
Yeah, and I said it to you too, Chase.
Up! Me? What?
Yeah, I said up! Now, keep him there.
I don't get it. Whose team are you on?
Big Dutch Oliver's, and that's the way it's going to ride till I find out which one of you two lice killed him.
It wasn't me. Get that through your head, punk. Whoever blasted him, it wasn't me. But between us, we could fix it so Chase would take the fall.
The hands, Buster. Keep them high. Higher! Now, what was you saying?
Look, I came here to have a little talk with Big Dutch. Maybe make a deal with him.
Yeah, 38 caliber deal.
Maybe we can talk business. I got a big organization. I could fit you into one of the top spots.
Don't you see, Danny, the more he tries to sell you a bill of goods, the more he proves he's scared. Scared that you'd realize he's the only person who could have killed Dutch Oliver.
Why don't you plug him? We could tell the cops he confessed and he tried to make a break for it. And then you had to let him have it. I'll back you up. And he'll be too dead to deny anything.
If I thought Chase killed Dutch, I'd...
Don't do it, Danny. Don't do it, I tell you. You can't take the law in your own hands. Oh, it's all very well to be loyal to Dutch, to want revenge, but you can't be the judge, jury, and the executioner. That belongs to the police. Use your head. Now, look, Danny, you're in the clear. I'll testify you weren't in this room when it happened. You know I didn't do it because I didn't have any gun. You frisked me when I came into the room, remember? So who's left? Whose gun did you take away? Who's the only one who had a motive? Turn him over to the conductor, Danny. Have him locked up until we get to Baltimore. We'll be due there in 15 minutes. You can wire ahead and have a reception committee waiting. That's what Dutch would want you to do.
Maybe you're right, Chase. But I ain't all the way sold on you.
All right, I'll go along when you turn Valenti in. Now, does that convince you that I'm leveling?
Well, You sound on the level. All right, it's a deal. I ain't got nothing to lose. Come on, Valenti.
You're making a mistake, punk.
Go on. You too. Oh, you can drop him. You know, they tell me the cops in Baltimore really know their stuff, huh?
Yeah, they get pretty good convictions, too. Let's say we're in Maryland. That means hanging.
Yeah, that's a show I gotta see. From a starback seat. Hold it, Valenti. Hey, what gives? Chase! Chase, open up!
Starback seat, 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 starback seat.
Could I have a translation of that?
It means stay off that train or you may have a starback seat to your own funeral. Starback seat, 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 starback seat.
Chase, open up or I'll blast you through the door.
Not a chance, Danny. I know all the answers now. The mystery of the locked room isn't a mystery anymore. It's in the bag.
Unlock the door, Chase. Let my brother in.
I knew that would bring you out of the bag. So you're Danny's brother, the midget, huh?
Surprised?
Not a bit. I knew the murderer couldn't have left this room.
You ain't that smart, Chase. You had something else to go on.
Yeah, you're right, I had. When you phoned me at the station, you used a lot of circus lingo. You mentioned starback seat, which means the reserved seats in the big top. Now, when I heard Danny use those same words just now, I knew he was in on the deal. He had a circus background, too. And in every circus, you can always find midgets.
Well, he threatened us. He made Danny do all his dirty work.
Mm-hmm. So Dutch had enough on you and your brother to send you to the hot seat anytime, didn't he?
I wanted to protect Danny.
I see. Then this train trip was a perfect setup to kill him. You'd both beat the rap by framing Valenti or me when I horned in.
I warned you to keep away. You know too much. Now you gotta die, like he died.
But he didn't die.
They thought I was dead until I came back from Florida a month later.
Chase, turn that light on. Turn it on or I'll burn you down.
You can't see in the dark. You don't know where to shoot. Missed me both times, little man.
It's a 6-gun. I've got 4 more tries.
Only 3. You forgot the bullet you used on Big Dutch.
That's the best slug I ever spent.
You're running low, little man. Only 1 left.
That's all I need, if it's the big one.
Open this door, come out. I said open the door, come out, or I'll come in shooting.
Oh, brother. That uniform looks as good as the Army, Navy, and Marines all rolled into one, especially that thing you got in your hand.
What do you mean, Chase? What are you trying to give me?
2 killers, the gun that killed Big Dutch Oliver, signed, sealed, and delivered.
Looks like I'm in the clear, huh?
For Big Dutch Oliver's murder, yes. But, oh, brother, wait till you hear that recording. You got the surprise of your life, believe me. All right, take them away, Doctor. They're all yours.
All right, boys, let's take a walk.
Well, baby, you certainly got yourself mixed up with a lot of nice playmates, didn't you?
Yes, I see that now. I guess I knew Rocco wasn't exactly on the right side of the law.
Yeah, you can say that again.
Believe me, I didn't know he was in that deep.
Up to here.
Mr. Chase, I wasn't exactly kidding about that newspaper work.
You weren't? Well, sometimes it gets exciting. Suppose we dig up a pencil and paper. I'll teach you some more tricks about the newspaper game.
For another exciting mystery, read Front Page Detective Magazine. And tune in next week, same time, same station, for another thrilling episode of Front Page Detective on television. You're invited to be with David Chase as he again unravels a case of mystery and intrigue on Front Page Detective.
Weirdness Really Bad Movie sadly presents the Weirdness Thought of the Week.
Some of my secrets have been so well kept, I can't remember what they are.
And now, it's showtime.
Been here long?
Yeah, I've been here a while.
Sure makes you wonder, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Makes me wonder how all those billions of stars and millions of planets and how we ended up on that little speck that we call Earth.
Yeah.
So what does it make you wonder about?
Yeah. Kind of makes me wonder what I'm going to have for breakfast tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Yes, there's plenty going on in this little old world of ours. Let's see what's cooking. Here comes a bit of news. A hurricane put the electric power plant out of business at Amesbury, Massachusetts. That put Farmer Woodson's electric milking machine on the blink. He called for help, and Fire Chief George McDougal and his men came a-running. The fire department milked the 50 cows by hand, and that's what I call pulling together, boys. Facts magazine tells about the most expensive kiss on record. A lady dove sat on a high-tension wire. Her boyfriend sat on another wire, and then they kissed. And whammo! The powerhouse in the town of Phoenix, Arizona, went out of business for half an hour. The doves? Oh, well, maybe they're just as happy. Are you listening, girls? You may know your reading, writing, and arithmetic, but what do you know about this? Sure, it's a man, but is he the right man? Needn't worry about that anymore. The Mundelein College, Chicago, has just begun a new class on how to choose a husband, how to keep him, and how to spend his money, as if you didn't know. Listen. Shh, fellas and girls, here's a little secret. It's just between you and me and the ticker. The War Department doped this one out. John, suppose you were here in London. And Jane, suppose you were here in Florida, about 4,000 miles apart. And you want to get hitched. The War Department says you can stay right where you are and get yourselves married in Tulsa, Oklahoma, by mail. And it's simple, too. John writes an I do letter to Oklahoma. Jane does the same. And Oklahoma says, I pronounce you man and wife. The only thing left is the distance between you and Jane. The War Department hasn't any idea what to do about that. But cheer up, kids. We'll have television soon. Taking candy from a baby is supposed to be the height of something or other. But here we have a bunch of kids in Mrs. J.T. Wright's nursery in Dallas, Texas, who were robbed. Yes, robbed. A low-down burglar got away with a box of 200 diapers. Well, anyway, that's one thing they can't pin on the kids. Talking about inventions, here's something, brother. The United States Patent Office has just issued a patent on an overcoat. Not just an ordinary coat, of course. This one is heated by electricity. The warming current of comfort comes from a bunch of batteries which you carry in a suitcase. Hope the inventor provides a little trailer with a fire extinguisher, you know, just in case of a hot seat. Calling all fishermen. Yep, you fellas with your rods and reels. The Wildlife Service at Washington, D.C. is coming out with a new radar gadget. This doohickey will locate schools of fish, tell you which way they're going, and let you know their exact size. The Army Air Force has published a book on what to do if you happen to fall into the water and meet up with a shark. Under Rule 1, the trick is to make a quick swing at the shark. Slap the water around and holler like blazes. Now, that's supposed to ruin the shark's self-confidence. If that doesn't work, grab the shark's dorsal fin and hang on until he gets tired. If that doesn't work, haul off and give him a swift kick in the nose. A shark can't take it on the snoot. There's nothing to it.
Gotta put it back.
Okay. The doctor will be with you in just a moment.
Thank you, nurse.
You're welcome.
Hold on, I got... Really? I don't understand that, Tim. I mean, I prescribed you this really strong... Oh, jeez.
Really strong cheese.
Wow. What happened to you, Mike? Were you in a fight?
Yeah, but it was fun.
He's moved the mic. Is it in the way?
No, move the mic back.
How about right here? Is it in? Okay.
You're fired.
I had it over there last time.
Okay.
Come on, Lisa. How can it be from your husband's family?
You know, if you met them, you wouldn't ask that question.
We're sitting there watching TV, and my... No, screw it.
Get your hands off me. Then what are you doing here?
Well, Dr. Dave, my wife has laryngitis.
Oh, Tom, I hate to tell you this, but there's nothing I can do to cure arthritis.
The Terminal introduces 5 new creations for Milady's coiffure. The elaborate Roomba swirl for the most formal dinner and dance occasions. And the Terminal, simple enough for the hostess, yet formal enough for evening wear. La Nimrée for afternoon as well as evening wear, designed especially for the young girl. Ah, enter the Duchess. This attractive new headdress is appropriately named the Merry Widow. Another romantic night with a regal and glamorous appearance, suitable for first nights in the opera. And now off for the show, all 5, and not a worry in the world about getting a single hair out of place. For modern motor cars, now have no draft ventilation that provides individual circulation of fresh air without a trace of draft. A little twist of the handle turns on the fresh air, yet the most elaborate headdress stays in perfect order.
Well, that looks like it's it for another Weirdness Really Bad Movie show.
I would like to thank you for joining us. So, Dave, what happened to your investigative reporting clothes?
Holly, I decided to give that up.
Oh, no. Why would you do that?
Well, I was doing an investigative report on how to hotwire a car when a policeman caught me.
Well, that would do it. Yeah. Hey, don't forget to check us out at weirdnessreallybadmovie.com.
And you can also email us at reallybadmovie@rocketmail.com. Keep it clean and we just might use it.
But Dave, I was curious about one thing. If the police caught you breaking into a car...
Hotwiring a car...
Yeah, okay, whatever. Why aren't you in jail?
Well, they decided to give me a 1-week probation.
Ooh, yeah, good idea. Okay, we'll see you everybody next week on the Weirdness Really Bad Movie Show.
That and it was my own car I was breaking into.
You mean hot wiring?
Yeah, right.